welcome. This is Father Andrew Ewald from Saint Bishoy Monastery in Wadi Natrun. We are blessed to have an exclusive interview, and when I say exclusive, it's really exclusive because we're going to ask questions and we're going to hear new decisions haven't made public yet. We are blessed to be with His Holiness Pope Tawadros II, and as he usually did while he was a bishop, he was responsible for the children and youth, and he adored them, and he knows that they are the future of the church. He gave at this time. It's late at night, and His Holiness is sick, and he has a long day tomorrow on Sunday, but he made the time for you and just for you because he loves you so much. Your Holiness, welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time. Your Holiness, this process we're in, none of us here in this room saw before. New Pope, everybody here knew His Holiness Pope Shenouda. We were born in his era, and a new Pope to come, it's a new feeling, something we haven't experienced. The process itself was a little bit complicated. We didn't know what kind of process it will go, but thank God through your prayers and the guidance of His Eminence Metropolitan Bartholomeus and the Holy Synod, everything was smooth, and through the fasting and prayers, God picked for us a good shepherd, which He will shepherd His sheep in righteousness. And this is a prayer we kept saying for 8 months, and God answered our prayer by Your Holiness. I want to ask Your Holiness, what was your feeling when first you knew that you are nominated from other bishop to become the Pope, and when the time start to come closer to become only 5 nominees, then 3 nominees, then at the end, Bishoy picked up your name through the guidance of God to become the 118th Pope for us.
Thank you. All these steps was spiritual steps, and it is considered as a historic moment for me, and my feeling is very serious for this serious responsibility. I need the grace of God. I need the prayers of all people for me to support me for this new responsibility.
Good. And Sayyidina, I said we're going to have an interview with Your Holiness, and I kept thinking, what kind of question should I be asking Your Holiness? I went and I reviewed all the interview Your Holiness did with all kind of medias. Yes. And I didn't want to have a repetition question were asked before because of your time. So I said, right now we have the media and the Facebook. So we have for the Archdiocese the Facebook for Your Holiness, which is facebook.com/Coptic Pope. And I said, let me boast and said, youth, if you have an opportunity, if you have the chance to ask His Holiness Pope Tawadros II a question, what would you ask him? So
this
I guess
is a good idea.
Yes,
this is a good idea.
This is all what we know how to do. Sayyidina, just sit on Facebook and. But definitely we can use those resources for the benefit of our church, and I think lots of people submitted their questions, and if Your Holiness allow me, I would like to ask those questions. Tony Hasaballah is asking Your Holiness, and he's saying, what is the vision of Your Holiness for the youth in the U.S. or outside Egypt as all?
The youth are considered as a golden ring in the life of the church, and your programs must be modern every time, and I hope to present good service, good pastoral caring for them through programs, through activities, through meetings, through dialogues with them, and my heart is open for every one of them.
Sayyidina, through your interviews, and I'm not just pinpointing, but it's something you said which moved me, and I believe moved everybody else, and actually shaked me. Your Holiness said, you cannot, right now in this age, you cannot just go and tell the youth, this is it, this is how it's done, and this is how you do it. You have to have an open dialogue with him. Your Holiness said, the word, you have to obey, otherwise you will be condemned, and if you are a good son, you will obey. Doesn't work anymore. We have to have dialogue with those youth. And for me as a priest, I mean, it's easy, and this is it. This is how we do it. So now this is a new mentality. This is a new change, and actually I think we need, not only in our pastoral care, but in our family life and our dealing with our kids. What kind of advice you give us as priests and servants in order for us to can change the old habits we have, that this is how it is, this is how it's done, and keeping an open dialogue with the youth and say, okay, give me your opinion, okay, let us try this, if it's going to work or not going to work.
The old way was in one direction. One direction. From the parents, for example, from the teachers, to the kids, to the youth, to the young man, young woman. But now must be the treatment with the youth in two directions, through the dialogue. And I think that the best way is to hear to them and accept new ideas, new suggestion, new feelings. This is important for us.
So it's like you're giving him also an ownership of the church.
Yes.
This is not just my church and you do it the way I want, but this is your church, and let us talk about the best way we can organize and can grow the Word of God through unity.
Yeah. But it is important for them, the spiritual basics for them, to live in good way in the open society, either in States, in Europe, in Egypt, and so on.
Nihar Zakhari is asking Your Holiness a question, which is a feminine question. It says, what are Your Holiness plans to get women more involved in the church other than Sunday school teaching and food kitchen service?
In Jesus Christ, there is no female or male, but all are one in Jesus Christ, as the verses in the Holy Bible. The rules of the woman is several rules. Sunday school teaching, translation, writing, singing in choirs, and also food services, very important.
Very important for us. The idea, Sayyidina said that when the apostles had problem, they elected deacons, not deaconesses.
Food service is necessary for men and women.
Yes. And what Your Holiness think?
And also sharing in the putting of plans or organizing. Yes.
I mean, I know that there is lots of churches who have the head of the service are women, and they have a great prosper service. The other thing, Sayyidina, I struggle as a clergy. I have 3 girls and 1 boy, and all of them they're good deacons. But the boy can participate in liturgical service, and the girls are from the outside. They are dying to put tunia or something on, just to say, hey, I exist, and also I know how to sing.
The girls can be participate in everything except the sacraments.
Okay.
Any sacrament.
So from the outside, if they can sing loud with the deacon.
Yes.
How about if we can have a robe for them, or some kind of special uniform, not a tunia, or different shape that they can wear as a choir group?
It is considered as ordinary shape. It is good for them.
to feel that they also belong
But
and will not
we
exist.
must keep the old traditions and the legacy of our church during the sacraments, during the practice of sacraments, the seven sacraments. There is no rule for the woman, for the girls.
In offering the sacrament or being with the deacons up there,
For
but down
example,
there.
can participate in Bible study lessons. Yes.
And another question from Nihal is saying, are there plans to revise the church bylaws? Last revision was in 1980.
Yes. Must be revision for these bylaws and constitutions. And also I think to put the constitution for the Coptic Church generally, a Coptic Codex. This is very important because the law is the life. It is important.
And another question from Nihal say, are there plans to assign bishops to dioceses in the US and Europe that may not have any bishops?
Yes. Establish new dioceses. It is important. And with the bishops in states, we have 2 bishops in dioceses and another 2 general bishops. I will discuss this matter with them to establish a new diocese, not only in the States but also in Europe, no in Australia, but in Asia or in Africa. I will discuss this.
Is there, Your Holiness has like time frame? I know Your Holiness is very organized, so is say, okay, 6 months, a year from now, we'll have 1 new diocese, or my target is every year I will have 1 or 2?
I hope that.
Okay. And another question from Nihal said, are there plans?
Many questions from Nihal.
I don't know. She has nothing to do except sitting on Facebook. Are there plans for priests to get special training in pastoral counseling before them getting ordained?
Yes, it is very important for them. A good preparation for them before ordination as a priest, especially in the States, in Canada, in Europe. This is very important. And also I asked some bishops working in outside Egypt to put their experience during long experience, about 20 years, to put this experience in courses and programs to be taught for priests before ordination.
And also said that's like when I get ordained, I didn't know what to bring with me to the dear or the monastery, or even what's the step is going to be taking through the ceremony of ordinations, and what should I do after and before. I think all this should be like 1, 2, 3. You're new priest. It's like you're going camping. You take this with you.
This duty must be taught for everyone.
Yeah. There is a couple of questions from Naveen Namatallah, and it says, Your Holiness, is there any plans of holding talks between the other Orthodox leaders in an effort to work toward unity between Western and Eastern?
Yes. The relation with the other churches had 2 lines. The dogmatic lines through the theology conference or meetings, and the other line through the love sharing, or sharing love in different occasions. And this is important for youth, for kids, for families. This is important to be one in Christ.
And I'll take this time, Sayyidina, Your Holiness, if you allow me. In the US, on November 24th, we have the Pan-Orthodox gathering between all the Orthodox families. It's going to be in New Jersey University, and we're going to have the speaker, the Dean of St. Vladimir. After that, we'll have a Rabbi all together, as His Holiness said, as one body in Christ.
This is good. Good.
We do it once a year, Sayyidina, and Thanksgiving.
We must express about our relation with Jesus Christ through this love in action.
This is a tricky question. Are there any plans on moving Christmas to December 25th for the US and Europe and Australia?
This is matter must be discussed. But our feast is like Christmas according to the Coptic calendar.
Right.
But the Christmas in the West Europe, in West world, another calendar. There is difference between two. But
Same Christ, same Christmas,
yeah.
same gifts.
But I will try to discuss this
Yeah,
matter.
it's definitely, I think it's for the kids, it's for them see their friends celebrating Christmas, then we are celebrating a week or 10 days after that usually. And as Your Holiness said, we're not a local church anymore, we're a global church.
Yes, global church.
So those kids and those family who are outside of Egypt also, they must, the Holy Synod and with the leading and the supervision of Your Holiness, I think those people maybe also can be part of the discussion as you.
Yes, I will try this discussion. Especially after the presence of our churches in the Western world for tens of years.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. And another question about divorce. Say that divorce has become more commonplace right now. How do Your Holiness feel about creating a pre-marriage program that require before any priest perform the sacrament of marriage?
Any marriage must be depend on a good base for everyone, and so the preparation for this marriage is very important. Some said that the decision of marriage for individuals like the decision of war for states or countries. Very serious. Need good preparation.
Or they can become monks.
The courses or programs before marriage very important and must be obligatory, not chosen or.
Yeah, good. Thank God I passed this matter and I'm not taking those courses.
Yes, yes.
And here is a fun question for Your Holiness, and it's from Marina Wisa. It says, Your Holiness, when will be your first visit to the U.S. as Pope?
I hope that through the first year, but
is it going to be the first visit outside Egypt, Sayyidina?
No, not the first.
So where is it going to be the first? Here is exclusive information.
I hope that this visit for African countries.
Ah, okay. So His Holiness' first visit out of Egypt is going to be for Africa, and I think this is just to reaffirm that His Holiness is going toward preaching, evangelism, and also telling the youth, as we know that Your Holiness know that Sayyidina, our youth love to go to Africa to serve there. And Your Holiness aware that there is a new movement in the state and Europe for new missionary church in order to just not be a close community as Copts, but we'll open up and will become the salt and the light of the world for our community.
I need to give them in the countries, in African countries, give them some support and some push.
This is going to be a huge push, and not only that, I mean, if Your Holiness announced the time, I think lots of people from the Europe and from the US and Australia will come and celebrate this great evangelism trip.
And also many trips and journeys comes from our churches in the States, visit Kenya, South Africa.
Missionary, they do lots of missionary work. Tony Hasaballah is asking Your Holiness, is there any plans on creating and opening a clergy school seminary in the US that is the same level like the Clericaia in Egypt for lay people who would like to go and learn?
We have clerical schools in Egypt, of course, and also we have clerical schools in Europe, in Germany. Last month, from 2 months, I participate with Bishop Gabriel of Syria, Nemsa, to open a new clerical schools. And if the Coptic society in States needs these schools, I will share with them.
And here is a request, not a question, from George Mikhail. And he's saying, Your Holiness, can you please continue to hold the annual priest seminary in Karma in Boston? This is a humble request rather than a question.
This is big gathering of all priests. But I think that if we held these meetings in groups, maybe more effective and more concentrated for them. I think that there is a meeting for the priests in Canada, one, in West and East of America, in South, and so on.
Here is another exclusive for the
3 or 4 groups.
Yeah. So the next year clergy meetings, according to His Holiness, is going to be divided into small groups to have intimacy and also to have more one-on-one relationship with His Holiness and tackle some of the issues in the U.S. and Europe.
And I think that this meeting is for priests only, or
for priest and wife, families.
And wives,
families.
Yes, families.
Yes, and I know
since the groups is more effective.
Yes. Your Holiness, Ronnie Macarius, he has a good questions. There are many new age movement in the U.S., particularly with gay rights and the theory of evolution, that there is no creation. And our kids, they were born in this society. They deal with those kind of people, and they have sympathy for them. And as us, as a church, we cannot just go and attack those people because our kids, they're not going to listen. What's a balanced way, or how can the church educate the youth toward this new movement?
First of all, we are Christians born in Egypt, firstly, or the Coptic Church started in Egypt and has long history and long traditions and long legacy also. And we are, as the Orthodox Church, as you know, the Orthodox means a straight line. This is very important to be educated for the young and the youth generally. The second step, second item, not everything in the Society of States, Society of Europe is good for me. Must be select and reject. This is golden base for treatment with the society. Not everything is suitable for me. Not everything. Not every movement or new movement is suitable for me. Therefore, when the personality of any youth will grow well, he will choose in good way. This is important. Yes.
And Your Holiness, there was another request from a couple of youth and asking, can we see more monasteries in the U.S.? Right now we have 2, one in California and one in Texas.
Yes.
And I mean, is this something
the youth need this?
The youth, I think they love the monkhood life and quiet time. And
monastic movement.
Monastic movement here, right?
Establishing a monastery is good and important also, and helps the church. And also, when we find all the requirements to establish this monastery, It is good to be one monastery, new, 1, 2, 3.
I think maybe we have only one monastery for girls there in the US, so maybe we have more.
But the foundation of a new monastery must be in good basis as a monastery.
Real monastic life.
Yeah, and the monastic life, like in Egypt, must be good and right and perfect. Some monasteries like a retreat house. This is not monastery. Monastery is a society of praying, society of studying the Bible. The monastery must be good.
And how Your Holiness are planning to keep this monastic life while you are the Pope and the Patriarch?
Through the fatherhood, the presence of fatherhood for the new monastery, or motherhood for nuns. It is very necessary. The good monastic life started with fatherhood, the presence of the spiritual fatherhood.
And Your Holiness, what's your plan? And we know that you're very organized. How are we gonna spend your week as a Pope? Is there any scheduling a Pope use? What's a day like as a Pope?
Every day is different from the other day.
Okay.
Firstly. But I think to spend 1 week in Cairo, and 2nd week in Alexandria, the 3rd week in Cairo, the 4th week in the monastery. This is broad lines.
Okay. And it will be also like a weekly meeting Your Holiness
Yes.
will conduct?
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Oh, on Wednesday, okay. So
Yes,
it's gonna,
yes.
and it's going to be in Cairo and
I will
Alexandria?
continue this sermons or this
Okay.
meeting
Okay.
as
His Holiness
optional.
will. And this is going to be every Wednesday in Cairo?
Yes.
Okay.
But in Alexandria, maybe in Wednesday every 2 weeks, or on Sunday.
Okay. No,
I hope that.
Your Holiness, sometimes when we see the picture from the outside, it's different than when we are inside the picture. What Your Holiness saw from the outside before becoming a Pope, and what do you see right now? I know it's only been a week, but what do you see different, and what do you need to change? And
For me,
yes,
yeah, my ministry before this new responsibility was in the diocese of Buhaira and Matruh. This is west to Alexandria, in desert areas, in villages. I treat with simple people in different places, but in the same time I treat with the youth, the students in the universities, with the servants generally. This is give me good experience to meet with them and discuss with them. Also through the Maharagan, the festival. This is Al-Kiraza, Maharagan Al-Kiraza, and so on. This is give me good experience. In addition, I am a teacher in the clerical school in Damanhur. This is a school was established from 20 years or 21 years. And also in the Institute of Holy Bible in Damanhur, and Coptic songs or Coptic hymns in Damanhur, musical and Coptic hymns. This is give me good experience. In addition, for reading, for traveling, I visit many countries, many churches, and so on.
And how about for the church? How did you see the church from the outside, of being a monk and a bishop, and now seeing the church and knowing every in and out of the church.
I
as a whole.
consider the church is the embassy of heaven,
Okay.
is part of heaven.
Part of heaven.
This means that the spiritual rule must be number one. Second, the social rule. This is the two rules of the church. Inside the church, some rearrangement must be takes place.
Organization in terms of
Organization in general.
In general. Okay.
Yes.
What's number one on the list? Like Your Holiness sat and he said, you know what, this is number one, this is the most important, and this is the least important.
The rearrangement of the church from inside, especially in the Babel residence in Cairo.
Okay.
Yes, this is important. Secretary, communications, offices, and so on.
Okay, it's more in the administration part of it, because administration is very important for anybody to succeed, or any organization to succeed.
Administration is the first step.
Okay. Then what's number two?
Pastoral care for kids. This is good. And
So Your Holiness think to have, we have the Bishop of Youth, do you think we should have the Bishop of Kids?
maybe, or bishop for the
Sunday school?
Sunday school, especially 10, age 15, 16.
And is he going to be the same bishop all his life, or is it going to change?
This is also bishop for the
Middle school.
family affairs.
Okay.
Bishop for the development, human resources. This is ideas.
Okay.
Ideas.
It's another question. I'm not sure if it's gonna that the youth will care about it, but I know that we call any English-speaking person the youth. In terms of divorce, I know that it was covered in the Arabic interviews, and it's a huge. I mean, we said that it became something common now. I mean, before somebody's divorced, it was weird in our ears and we couldn't accept it, but now it become a fact. How the church will face this fact, as Your Holiness said, not this is the way it is and you have to listen, but on the basis of dialogue. How I'm gonna not compromise my belief or my Bible teaching, but I'm saying that yes, there is a problem and we have to solve this problem.
The issue of divorce is a big problem.
It is a problem.
Yes. It's a big problem.
It's a problem for the family, for the kids, for the parents, for the church,
for the society.
For the society, for everything.
Yes. Yes. I will meet with Bishop Paula and also with other bishops to discuss all these matters. I hope that everyone in this problem must find his rest in the church.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Maybe we should have the 3 days of prayer and fasting, the same like we did before for this meeting. It will be good. But definitely, Your Holiness, I mean, the period of choosing the Pope, it was a spiritual period. The Holy Synod and His Eminence Metropolitan Bartholomew involved the whole congregation, not only in Egypt, but in Europe and America. And there was 3 days of fasting and prayers. Everybody fasted and prayed. And the church came as united, one unit, one body, one heart, one soul. And that's why God answered our prayers and sent us the Good Shepherd. We ask Your Holiness so many questions. I know Your Holiness is tired, but what question do you want to ask our youth in Europe, and what request you want to request from them and what advice you want to give them.
Advice to the youth.
Youth, yes.
Youth.
Youth in English-speaking youth outside Egypt. Or Egypt.
Oh, yes. I advise the youth, either in Egypt or outside Egypt, their life must be dependent on the Bible, on all the verses of the Bible. The Bible must be the daily food for them, daily spiritual food for them. This will change their personalities and will give them a good heart and good mind to think. This is important. The word of God is word of life and word of power. This is important, and this is good advice for everyone.
And I just got one other question. I think it's also important questions. It's from one of the youth, and he said that confession is something very important, and repentance is very important for all of us. But he feels that when he goes to confession, that the priest or the clergy, yes, he takes the confession, but somehow he play a psychological, I don't want to say game, but a psychological, in a psychological way to just control this person, or to control some aspect of the service through this person. And this is like he's saying that it's a turn off for him, and he's thinking of just to stop going for confession. What advice you give us as clergy when we administrate those kind of sacraments?
Treat with everyone as individual one. There is no two persons like each other. And this is long way, spiritual way for everyone. And the priest during the confession help and support the person to put his feet on the spiritual way. This is long way for everyone.
Thank you, Your Holiness, for your time. And we ask Your Holiness a question. Is the enthronement celebration on Sunday is going to be the same standard of organization as the liturgy which we did when the Bishoy picked up your name, or it's going to be a different kind of organization? Because our kids, after this liturgy, they were proud to be Copts of the way we organized this celebration.
The celebration of the next Sunday?
I'm asking about, the day after tomorrow. Is it going to be organized the same way?
Will be organized, very well organized.
This is the standard Your Holiness will keep?
Yes.
While you are ordaining new clergy?
And the other masses after this. Yes. Will be organized. Okay. Well organized.
Yeah, because it's very important.
Very controlled.
Yeah, it's very important for us as people. I mean, we were sitting in our homes watching this. It's like we are in the cathedral.
The shape of the church, especially through the satellite TV channels, must be in good picture.
And it was a great, it was great advertising for the Coptic Church. Sayedna, CNN, BBC, all the American newspaper just got shots and wrote article about how disciplined the Coptic Church is, and actually she offered this experience to other governments, say this is how you should run your elections.
I read an article in Washington Post about this.
It's wonderful.
For the election of the Coptic.
It's wonderful. We thank Sayyidina for his time, and he had a long day and long days to come, but we ask His Holiness for the prayer, for the service of the youth, service in the churches, and for the media. And definitely we'll have a coverage for His Holiness when he come next year to the United States. Thank you, Sayyidina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.